Welcome to Goat Island! Introducing our contestants, Pete the Goat, Tarah the Goat, Jericho the Goat, although this goat has a very likable smile, the herder of goats, Michelle, and Lockie the Lion. Today on Goat Island, will the lion be trampled under the cloven hoofs of the goats? Yes, he will be. How is that possible, you ask? Let's find out. So the episode starts with Tarah talking herself up of how brilliant she was to make a move that it took like 10 minutes of everyone trying to convince her to make the move. But eventually she showed her strong, independent survivor spirit by doing what she was told by the majority of the other people. Good job, Tarah. Lockie's not happy, so he has a bit of a sulk before he comes back and tries to sort of make amends with Tarah because he feels like she's kind of the only person that he has to work with. Do you not remember, Lockie? There was a certain someone else who was trying to help you in the very last episode, but you very arrogantly didn't listen. Maybe you should perhaps go and talk to that person rather than the person who you know for a fact has been gunning for you for like 4 tribals in a row now. But Lockie says to Tarah, I always said I'm with you no matter what you do, but you flipped. Yeah, that's what she does, dude. How did you not notice that?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
How could you not know that?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong here. I suck.
From day one, she did that. She flips all the time. Her flips never work out, and she's lasted here because she's a goat being dragged to the end because nobody likes her. But yeah, she flips, dude. That's what she does. How are you even surprised by that at this point? And then he says, oh, I still love you, girl. Lockie, just shut up, man. Just shut up. But Lockie has a plan for being on the bottom. He's going to pretend like he has an idol. Bwah! Mind-blowing strategy. No one would ever conceive of such a brilliant tactic in Survivor before. Bwah! Bwah! My head is exploding. That's amazing, Lockie. Bwah! Alright, look, I'm sorry, guys. It's late and I'm frustrated with this show. I really am. But it's alright. Based on Twitter, I know a lot of you guys are feeling the same frustration I am. And I really hope this doesn't mean that Australian Survivor is going to get cancelled. I really do want there to be another season, partly because I want to get on it, but mostly just because I'm a fan and I want to see Australia do better. I know we can do better. This season was such a huge improvement over the last one. I feel if we can just go one more season, we'll really hit our stride. You know, I mean, even the American Survivor. It took a couple of seasons until they sort of ironed out all the issues and really got on a roll. I just really hope that Channel 10 is able to sort of navigate some of these problems and just keep going a little bit longer. It'll pay off in the end. I'm sure of it. But anyway, yes, Lockie's plan is to pretend like he has an idol and show Tarah the clue that he picked up from Annalise, because Annalise dropped it at the tribal that says, congratulations, you have found an idol. This seems to work. It convinces Tarah that she has an idol, but it doesn't convince really anyone else. And has this tactic ever actually worked? I mean, lots of people have done this before. They've all pretended to have idols when they really need one, even though they don't. But I don't recall any time where it's ever really worked. Put it in the comments if there is one instance, because I'd like to know what it was. But look, if you want to trick people into thinking there's an idol in play when there isn't, you can't just do it like this. You can't just say, hey, I've got an idol, everyone. Like, remember what AK did? He put like a clever twist on that. He actually did end up finding an idol, but what he did is he made up his fake chicken idol, pretended that was the idol. Everyone realized, of course, it wasn't. So everyone's like, oh, he definitely doesn't have an idol, but he actually did. So that was like a cool sleight of hand or sleight of thought that he did on everyone else. If Lockie really wanted to convince people that he had an idol, he would have needed to put a bit more thought into it than just this. Like, maybe what he could have done, rather than just telling Tarah he has an idol and showing her the thing, maybe he could arrange it for someone to accidentally find it in his bag. Maybe he could leave his bag lying around and leave it kind of sticking out a bit so someone would go, what is that in Lockie's bag? And they'd find it themselves. And then when they confront him about it, he could go, oh, it's not mine. No, I don't have an idol. What are you talking about? No, I definitely don't have an idol. And the more he denies it, the more people will think it's true. See what I'm saying? Just like something a bit more than what he did. I mean, if he really wanted to get fancy with it as well, what he could do is he could leave that clue in Jericho's bag in a place where Michelle would find it. Because remember when Michelle knew that Henry had the idol, she's like, we have to blindside Henry. If she found that clue in Jericho's bag, she would probably do the same thing again. She'd be like, forget about Lockie, Jericho's got that idol. This guarantees him a spot in at least the final 4, if not the final 3, if he's going to use it next vote. This will be our only chance to get rid of Jericho. And then she could lead the charge, you know? And the more he could deny it, the more you could sort of of build up the case for him, because you could be like, well, you and Henry did go off looking for one, right? Maybe you really did find one with him. Because at this point, we all know that everyone's gunning for Lockie. Everyone's been gunning for Lockie for many episodes now. The only way you could put a bigger target on someone else would be putting that idol on someone else. But after Lockie steps into his adventure guide role for a while and takes Jericho on a bit of a fun adventure in the ocean, which was a nice moment to watch, Lockie loses immunity in the challenge by like 2 seconds. That was so close. And even though I'm not like a huge Lockie fan, I'm actually I like Michelle more than I do Lockie, but I would have liked to see him win that, just because all of the goats want him out and I don't want the goats to win. At this point, I don't care who wins as long as it's not a goat. So I was like, either Lockie or Michelle. I don't think Michelle's a goat at all, for reasons I mentioned in the last episode, and she demonstrates that again in this episode, but we'll get to that in a bit. I just want one of them to win. Of course, after this episode, Michelle's the only one left. It's bloody Goat Island. But Michelle takes Tarah and Jericho off on her reward challenge in her new shiny Trailblazer car, leaving Pete and Lockie back on the beach. So they have the show me the idol. No, I won't show you the idol. Is that because you don't really have it? No, I do have it, but I'm messing with you. You know, the standard conversation that usually happens. But when Jericho gets back from the reward, he and Lockie have a conversation and they start to talk about what the best strategy of winning at the end is. Is it the best strategy to take 2 goats to the end and then win by default because no one's going to vote for the goats? Or is it going to be better to take 2 strong players with you to the end and let your game speak for itself? May the best man win. And this comes up again at the tribal itself, but Jericho says that he wants to be the best, you got to beat the best and all that, and he wants to sit there and play with the best people, blah blah. No, he's lying. He takes the coward's way out and he gets rid of Lockie because he knows Lockie will beat him.
If you go to the end, you probably win with the money, so I gotta send you home.
Which is a little strange because earlier in the episode he said he thinks he can beat anyone.
I don't think it really matters who I take to the end. I feel so confident I can beat any of them.
If you go to the end, you probably win with the money, so I gotta send you home.
So which is it, Jericho? Do you think you can beat anyone, or are you taking the coward's way out because you know you're not the best player here? Actions speak louder than words, and your actions are showing you know you suck. But before they head off to tribal, Lockie makes a bit of a show as if he's going out into the jungle to like fetch his idol, like if you get it and he re-hit it somewhere else that only he knows. And Michelle doesn't believe that he has an idol, but she thinks he might have an idol, and she decides to hedge her bets. She decides to vote with Lockie for Pete in the event that he actually does have an idol. Then she wants to be on the winning side. Now it's worthy to note that out of all the other people on the island, Michelle is the only one that actually makes a contingency plan for the possibility of him having an idol. None of the other players thought about it, which is kind of funny because if you really are players, you would actually want to make a contingency plan, but it didn't occur to these guys. It's weird. It's almost like they're goats. Hate these goats. But this conversation about, being a goat and whether you want to beat the best at the end or whether you just want to float to the end as a goat, I think Lockie actually made a pretty good case, if not them, but to the jury as well, that you might make it to the end if you bring goats with you, but you're not going to win because this is a jury that is jam-packed with big players. Big players do not respect people who don't make big moves and just bring losers to them at the end. This jury is not going to respect that, but this jury will respect someone who's willing to sit next to people that are legitimate threats at winning and say, my game is better, here's the reason why. Now Lockie's arguments obviously fell on deaf ears with those around him, but the jury heard it, and he's going to continue to talk to the jury in like the jury villa thing that they're in. And that may come back to bite certain people here if they do make it to the final 3. I think if it's Michelle and 2 goats, Michelle's pretty much a shoo-in to win if Lockie is able to spread that message amongst the jury. Because they are all big players. They're all fans of the show, like we're all fans of the show, and we want someone deserving to win. We don't really have anyone deserving now that Lockie's gone, apart from Michelle, but she's not likable. So you've got someone who's has actually made the moves, has actually shown good strategy, has actually controlled the game, arguably more so than anyone else, but her moves are not as obvious and she's not as likable as, say, Jericho, who has not really done anything, but he's super likable. So you've got an unlikable person with solid gameplay versus a likable person who's done nothing, and 2 goats who are neither likable nor strategic. But it was great to see Lockie just say right to Pete's stupid face, "You are a goat. You are Puppet Pete." I would have loved to see him go at him harder and just be like, of course you're a goat. We all know you're a goat. It's the only reason you're still here. And he can say exactly the same thing for Tarah. But the three goats all ganged up on Lockie, but because Lockie didn't actually have an idol, he went home, and I was absolutely slack-jawed, gobsmacked to hear the final few words out of Lockie's mouth in the episode, which is, you know, I'd be happy to vote Tarah to win. God, why would you be happy to vote Tarah to win, Lockie? I mean, you've been saying this entire episode and pretty much the entire season, to be the best, you gotta beat the best. Who has she beaten, Lockie? By your own standards, who has she beaten? How is she the best? She's not. She's the worst. I've said it before, I'll say it again. She was voted out, fair and square. She did not stay in the game due to any play of her own, like having an idol or anything like that. She stayed in the game through dumb, blind luck, and she's floated to the end as a goat ever since. None of her moves have actually worked. I mean, even this one to take you out, Lockie. Is that even her move? Everybody else on the tribe already wants to do it. How can she claim that as her move? She hasn't really done anything. So why would you vote for her, Lockie? How is she the best? I'm sorry to be so negative, guys. It's just I really care about this show. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, I will see you guys in the comments.